How do you get into Bible reviewing? Do you get paid to review Bibles? How do you get free Bibles from Bible publishers? What happens if you get a Bible that you really don't like? I get questions like this all the time, and I thought it would be fun here on the 5th anniversary of my channel to answer some of the most commonly asked questions about what it's like to be a Bible reviewer, specifically as it relates to working with Bible publishers. I posted this to my channel members here on YouTube. By the way, if you're not a channel member, you can click the join button beneath any one of my videos and you can become a channel member. That small monthly fee does a lot to support my channel. But I asked my channel members, would you like me to record a video where I kind of share some behind the scenes, inside baseball, if you will, about what it's like to be a Bible reviewer working with these publishers? And they were all like, yes, that would be awesome. I said, okay, well then share your questions with me. And then I opened it up to my subscribers as well as my followers on Instagram and Facebook and said, what questions do you have for me about working with Bible publishers? So I have saved right here the top 11 questions. Several of them were asked by lots of different people, but I kind of combined them into 11 different question categories. And I'm going to dive through them and do a little Q&A, the truth about working with Bible publishers. Are you ready? Okay. Number one, the most common question by far was basically, how does it work? How do you connect with these Bible publishers, that sort of thing, and how do you get all these Bibles? And just so I'd say in general, each Bible publisher has a different way about doing reviews and how they operate. Many of them have what they would call a review program where there's lots of different Bible reviewers. For example, Thomas Nelson sends out an Excel spreadsheet every quarter and says, here's all the Bibles that are coming up in the next quarter, and then you go and you fill out a form online and let them know which ones you want to review. And if you are invited to be part of the review program, you're a part of that. So even if your channel has 200,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers, if you're part of the review program, you get the same email. Other publishers, I have a contact in their marketing department where I email them and say, hey, I'm interested in this Bible. And they say, great, we'll send it to you. Sometimes it's kind of just a little bit different. It's like I've met a lot of people in the Bible publishing world. I'd say it's usually either they have a program and you can become a part of it, or you get invited to become a part of it, or I have relationships with people in the marketing team or the executive team, that sort of thing, and I'm able to go directly to them. So that's like the general, like how I order Bibles and how I decide what I'm going to review. I guess the other question that's part of that is like, do they tell you what to review or do you get to ask? Yes. Sometimes they reach out to me and say, we'd really like to feature this Bible. It's a big release for us. Other times I say, hey, I see that this is coming out. I'd like to review it. I often try to, if I see 3 or 4 Bible reviewers have reviewed a Bible, if it's really big, I want to review it. But if it's not that big, I might go, okay, I don't need to review that one because there's other reviews out there. So I'm going to focus on something different. So that's part of the process. Question number 2. A lot of people ask me this over the years about how you get started as a Bible reviewer. One person said, should you contact publishers and request review copies, or should you review your personal copies and hope that they notice? That's a really great question. And what I say to everybody is, take the Bibles you have, create good content. That's how I got started. I started buying Bibles or reviewing Bibles that I already had, and then eventually a Bible publisher reached out to me. That's one of the questions in here. Paulette asked, who was the first Bible publisher to send you a Bible for review, and what Bible was it? Well, I believe it was Nikki from Thomas Nelson. A few months after I got started, said, hey, we found your channel. Can we send you a box of Bibles? And I was like, are you kidding me? They'll send me free Bibles? That's incredible. And so she sent me the very first premium Bible that I ever had from the Premier Collection was the NKJV single column reference Bible in brown goatskin. I absolutely love that Bible. She sent me a box that had 4 or 5 Bibles in it, 1 premium. So yeah, I tell people, if you're getting started, if you want to do this, you're probably not going to get a bunch of free Bibles from Bible publishers if you've got 2 subscribers and 2 videos. You need to build up a little bit consistency over time. My friend Tim Nichols and I talk a lot about this, that since he and I both got started doing this, we've seen a lot of people come and go. And one of the hardest things about doing this is just staying consistent, releasing. If you're going to say, I'm going to release 1 video a month or 1 video a week, and just keep doing that. So building consistency is how you get it started. Okay, question 3. So many people asked this. Do the Bible publishers pay you? And the answer for a long time was no, and is still usually no. Most of the Bibles that you see featured on my channel are what's called review copies. So I'm given a review copy in exchange for an honest review. I don't have to pay for the Bible. Now, I have paid for a lot of the Bibles that you've seen reviewed on my channel, but most of the time, because now particularly, so many people view my videos and it's done so well and it's grown, the Bible publishers, I think, see their Bible being featured on my channel as a good thing for their sales and stuff like that. So they'll often send them to me. So they don't pay me to do reviews. Now, over the last year, again, as my channel has kind of gotten even bigger, I have started to get creative with how I try to monetize what I'm doing and make a little bit of money doing this. So you may have seen recently, I've done some videos that have included sponsorship. So I talk about a video sponsor. That's someone who has paid me to mention their product in my video as a sponsorship of a video about something else. And so that's a way for me to make a little bit of extra money. And I vet everything. I don't just review everything. There are Bible publishers who have reached out to me and said, we will pay you to review this Bible. And I have looked into the Bible and said, no thanks. I'm not just going to take money to review something that I don't think is really worth being featured on my channel. So I do make a little bit of money from sponsorships. I make a little bit of money from partnerships, things like the Dwell audio Bible. Dwell and I have a couple of different partnerships things going on. They don't ever pay me to make videos for them, but if you click the link in the video description and you order something from them, I get a little bit of a sliver of a commission off of that. Kind of like if you click one of my Amazon links, I make a commission that way. The primary way I make money from all this is those little videos you watch, the advertisements before or after my videos. I get a sliver. I think I added it up one time. It's like half of 1 cent every time you watch a video from one of those ads that plays. And that's all through YouTube/Google. They're doing all, they give you ads based on what they think you want to see based on the algorithm. And the longer you watch the ad, the more commission I get off that. So that's the primary way. So I would say 99.9% of the time, I'm not getting paid by a Bible publisher. And by the way, if I am getting paid by a Bible publisher or by anybody, you'll see a little thing in the top right corner of the video that says paid promotion. Or on Instagram, sometimes I've done I've created some reels for Bible companies. It'll say like, this is a paid promotion kind of thing. So it's always transparent about what that is. Okay, question number 4. Do you ever feel, this is great, Kevin from Facebook asked, do you ever feel obligated to sugarcoat your true inner feelings of a product review in fear of a loss of support from fans of a publisher? So Kevin's asking, are you afraid to say bad things about a publisher or their Bible because their fans might be upset? And then Matt, one of my channel members, said, I wonder about integrity and temptation to be untruthful. I would imagine it's really tempting to gloss over some flaws in order to keep from burning bridges. 100%, you've got to think about these things. I never promise a Bible publisher that I'm going to say nice things about their Bible. They send it to me, I review it, I try to be honest. You will notice if you listen to my videos closely, I will point out things. I wish they would have changed this, or I'm not a huge fan of this. But in general, I'm a pretty positive person, and I recognize that reviewing Bibles is subjective. If I'm just saying, oh, I don't like that typeface, you might love that typeface. That's subjective. But if I see a major flaw in a Bible, I'm going to point that out. If a Bible shows up and it just stinks, I just don't review it. I mean, plenty of Bible publishers have sent me something as a review copy and I don't like it, so I give it away or something like that. But I don't have a problem being honest, but I just try to be kind about it. You know that about me if you've watched my channel. I don't want to just blow people up for the sake of doing that. I try to be thoughtful and honest, but I also want you as my viewers to think Tim's trustworthy. So yes, if I get sent a Bible for review and I hate it, I just don't review it. If I get sent a Bible for review and I think there's a couple of things that I wish were different about it, I'm going to try to point that out in the video. And so far, that has not really broken any bridges or burned any bridges. I have had some publishers reach out to me after I said something in a video and said, hey, we watched your video, can we talk about that? And not like we wish you wouldn't have said that, but give us some more insight. And I really respect Bible publishers who reach out to me and say, can you explain to us why you feel that way? Because they seem to care about making sure that they're doing things the right way. So that's not really a huge temptation for me. I kind of go about it the way I've always gone about it. And again, if it's just really, really terrible, I just don't feature it on my channel. So yeah. Question number 5. I'm curious, this is from Wes, a channel member. I'm curious as to how Bible publishers react if you say something negative. I guess I just kind of talked about that. Do you feel pressure to give positive reviews? Has a publisher ever reacted angrily in response to criticism? Someone else asked, have you ever been in an argument with a Bible publisher? So I kind of answered that already. I've never had anything super nasty or negative with anybody who works at a Bible publisher. I've had a couple of honest email exchanges and phone calls with people, but nothing crazy. Honestly, the most tension I'm trying to decide if I should say this or not. Now I have to because this is in here. I guess I could edit this out later, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. The most tension I've ever felt with Bible publishers is because of my book, Bible Translations for Everyone. So I got a call a couple months before. I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but I got a call from my editor a couple months before the book came out who said there were some advanced copies, named a few different people in the Bible publishing world who had read the chapters about their translations that they represent, and that they had some feedback, some criticism of what I had to say. And at the end of the day, it was not that anything was factually inaccurate. They just didn't love the way I phrased certain things in the chapters. And I said to my editor and the VP at my publisher, I said, if there's something that's factually inaccurate, we need to change it. But if it's just they wish I would have said it this way instead of that way, or they don't like where I put it on the translation spectrum, that's subjective, and it's not one way or another. That's my opinion, and at the end of the day, that's what it came down to, was that. And I never actually spoke to anybody from those people about that. We never have. Maybe they're watching it now, but I just felt like. And what I said to them was, unless we send this book to every single Bible publisher who has a translation mentioned in this book, and we allow everybody to give me feedback, then it's not fair for me to take feedback from 2 or 3 people. And I don't want to do that at all. I don't think we should ask for their feedback, because I'm an independent source, an independent writer. I did my research. I stand by it. If anybody says anything's factually inaccurate, that's one thing. But so far it was just kind of subjective opinions and preferences. And so, man, I'm going to leave this in here, but yeah, so there's been some tense moments along the way, but nothing too crazy. Okay, 6, again from Paulette. Paulette, you've been mentioned on the channel several times this month, so shout out to you. Is there any publisher you will not work with? Not who won't work with you, one you won't work with. Why? Yes, yeah, there's some publishers that I won't work with. I'm not going to name names because I don't think that's right, but the why is because how they do their business or what they're putting out there are things that I'm not a fan of, right? So there are some Bible publishers. There's a lot, and I'm not talking about anybody major, like, the major publishers, but there's a lot of people publishing Bibles. And sometimes I see things that kind of make me go, ugh, why did they do that? Or I see a marketing plan, or I see things like that. I'm like, ugh, this just feels a little weird. And so, yeah, there's people that I've just kind of put on my list of, I'm not going to review their stuff. And most of the time, they don't really bother me after I say no the first time. So it's not really a big deal. That was number 6. Number 7, we're going to move along. Ethan on Instagram says, which publishers do you have a closer relationship with and why? That's a good question. So the first one that comes to mind is Holman Bibles, which was really natural. I met a couple of the guys from Holman Bibles at one of those conferences that I went to at the Museum of the Bible over the last couple of years. Andy and Jeff, I met them there, and they are literally in Nashville, outside of Nashville, just like I am. And so because I'm in the same town as them, I'm able to go swing. Like Jeff called me one day. I think I did a video about a year ago about the new marbled calfskin handcrafted collection. Jeff was like, hey, we just got in the samples. Do you want to check them out and show them? And so I was like able to, it's good for them because I'm talking about these Bibles that aren't out yet. That people get excited about it. It's good for me because it drives new viewers and it drives eyeballs to my channel because I've got kind of an exclusive on something. And it's easy because I literally drive by their office on my way to work at Belmont. So it's easy for me to kind of become friends with those guys and go visit the Lifeway offices and things like that. Same with Thomas Nelson. They're located here. I've gotten to know a lot of people at Zondervan because my book was published by Zondervan. It's a different division. The Bible's division is different, but I've gotten to know a lot of those people. Being at the conference, meeting people, I did year 1 of my channel. I went to Cambridge Bibles in Cambridge, England, and hung out with all the team there and got to know them. So I've always had a nice, friendly relationship with Cambridge. I would love, people have talked about wanting me to go behind the scenes at Bible publishers, and I've actually talked to some Bible publishers about going and doing videos where they manufacture the Bibles or in their warehouses or at their corporate headquarters and kind of showing. If you'd like to see that, leave me a comment and let me know. Kind of showing you behind the scenes at some Bible publishers. I would really love to do that. So I think that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, there's some that I just am really connected with. But I know a lot of Bible, like the head of the Bible publishing divisions or like the CEO of these companies. I've talked to a lot of these people, and I try to, you know me, I try to be a good guy. I try to have fun and be kind to people, and so I'm able to build relationships that way. So there's just a couple that I've shared this on my channel, like R.L. Allen. I've chatted with Ian, the guy who owns it, via email a couple times, but nothing major. And I would love to have a better relationship with him because I love their Bibles so much. Or like Sky Klein from Schuyler. I don't think I've ever spoken to Sky before, but there's a lady at Schuyler named Beth who's kind of my point of contact. And I wouldn't call Beth a friend. Maybe, Beth, are we friends? I feel like we've become pretty friendly over the years because Beth and I exchange emails when I have questions about Schuyler Bibles or things that are going on. But they're one of the ones I would love to go visit them and do some inside stuff at Schuyler because they're such a cool Bible publisher. So yeah, there's a lot of fun relationships with the different Bible publishers out there. Okay, 4 more. Number 8. Feedback. A lot of people ask questions about feedback, about how closely Bible publishers are paying attention to my videos or to the comments from people like you. Like, are they listening to us? Are they paying attention what we want to see in the future? Those sorts of things. Thomas, one of my channel members, says, have you actually seen any changes from things that you have said in your videos? He mentioned the Crossway ribbons. Now, Crossway is changing their ribbons on their new premium Bibles that are coming out this fall. I don't know that they're doing that specifically because of my feedback or because of your feedback, but I think that they are listening. And yes, I do hear from Bible publishers who say, oh wow, we noticed that the comments really blew up in this certain direction of your videos, or some of those Facebook groups that many of us are a part of that are talking about Bibles. I know that they are paying attention to review videos and to Facebook groups, and they're paying attention. Like, I think one of the things we've seen in the last few years is there's been an explosion of new colorways. By the way, I like to think that I took the phrase colorway from the sneaker world and brought it over to the Bible world, but we've seen a lot of publishers getting more creative with the different color options that they're offering. And I think that's because they saw people requesting those sorts of things. So yeah, and I have had Bible publishers reach out to me and say, will you consult with us on this idea we have? Do you think it makes sense? What would you tweak about this? And that's really fun to be somebody that they consider, you know, a valuable person who understands, because I see so many Bibles, right? Does this work? Is this too close to that? What do you think about this? So they have asked me my opinion on some things like that occasionally, which is pretty fun. Number 9, what factors keep a publisher? So a bunch of different people asked about how a company like Humble Lamb gets the rights, because Humble Lamb is not the copyright holder of any specific translation. So how do they get the rights to do that? How do they decide how that's going to happen? And because I have worked with Daniel a little bit, I now understand that a little bit better, that it's a different process for each publisher. Kind of like the review copies is a different process for each publisher. So some translations, they'll say to Schuyler or Humble Lamb or Allen, you can use our translation and you pay us a flat fee up front. Some will say, we want a percentage of every Bible that's sold. Some will say, we want a dollar amount for every single Bible that's sold. So they'll basically license it out to them. So for example, let's take Humble Lamb. Started with the KJV. KJV is not under copyright in the USA, so Daniel can publish. Daniel's the owner of Humble Lamb. He can print KJV Bibles, doesn't have to worry about getting a license. But for his other translations, in KJV, license from Thomas Nelson. NASB, license from the Lockman Foundation. NLT, license from Tyndale. You don't think I'm going to tell you what his next translation is, but I do know what it is because I have secrets. That's one of my other questions. It's actually question number 11. I'm skipping 10, going to 11. Tim and Mary on Instagram said, how hard is it to keep secrets? It's very hard. It's very hard. I'm sitting on at least 3 or 4 what I would consider to be pretty major Bible publishing secrets right now that have been told to me by either the owner of the premium Bible company, Daniel, or the CEO of the publishing company, or the rebinder who is working on a top secret project. So I have I have some secrets that it is very hard to not share, because as somebody who loves it when people watch my videos and click through and everything, sharing top secret things usually drives a lot of new video views. And so I want to share. And what I usually say is, I will not say anything, but as soon as I'm allowed to, please let me know, because I want to share. So yeah, so the translation rights is translation to translation. So for example, Humble Lamb, Daniel can't just say, people ask him all the time, I'm sure, when are you going to put out an ESV Bible? Well, he can't just say, I'm releasing an ESV Bible. He's got to work with Crossway on that. I don't have any information about that, but he has to work with them. So I'm sure there's a process there for all of these different translations, and it's slightly different than everybody. But yes, I agree with many of you. I would love to see a Humble Lamb ESV Bible. If they would take the Shepherd, I love the NKJV Shepherd. If they would take that and do an ESV, I think it would be a home run all the way. I would love to see that. Okay, last but not least, Kevin, one of my channel members, says, do you see yourself doing any more Bible collaborations with Humble Lamb or another publishing group? Kevin, the answer is yes, absolutely. I am. I loved being able to collab with Daniel on the Desert Sky edition of the NKJV Shepherd, which, if you missed that, we released it earlier this year. Only 500 copies, super limited edition. It sold out. That was so much fun. And I have had a couple of other companies reach out to me and say, what if we did something like this? Or what if we did something like this? And so I definitely have some ideas, and then we have some brainstorm sessions that are ongoing. I've got one project that's in the works that you should know about before the end of the summer, and another project that you might know about before the end of the year. So yeah, there's lots of stuff out there. And you know what? This is a great way to wrap this video up. All of that is because all of you have helped the channel become so successful, because you watch these videos, because obviously I work really hard at this. I have a lot of fun. I try to make it engaging and fun and high quality content. But the fact that you watch and you support the channel and you've helped it grow allows these Bible publishers to see what I do as something that's valuable for what they're trying to do, which is to get the Bible into the hands of people. I said this in another video, I don't think they're all about making money. I think they're about spreading God's word and being really faithful and honoring Scripture. And I like that I get to be a small part of that, and that you have helped me become that. So that's the truth. Maybe a little bit the hard truth in there at a couple of moments, but that is the truth about working with Bible publishers. I am grateful, deeply grateful to all of the different folks at all of the different publishers that I work with. Some of them are very small shops with just one or two people. Others are bigger companies. And so everybody that I get to interact with at the Bible publishers are always incredibly kind, fun, engaging people. And so I love getting to spend time with them. I love getting to chat with them via email or on Zoom calls and things like that. And I love the ability to take my friend Mark Bertrand from Bible Design Blog said we're in the golden age of Bible publishing. And I agree with it. There's incredible Bibles, lots of different translations, everything from super ultra premium stuff to really affordable, cool, unique stuff that's not very expensive. And I like to be a part of that. And I like that the publishers have kind of welcomed me into the family, so to speak. So thank you to all of you who sent in questions for this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button for me, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Surf around on my channel. Definitely check out some of the other 5th anniversary videos I've done this month, talking about looking back on the past history of my channel and answering some other questions and stuff like that. It's been an absolute blast. So thank you everyone for your love and support. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.